With only 47 days left before Christmas, the Department of Trade and Industry is urging consumers to buy Noche Buena products in advance. They also advise consumers to be aware of the suggested retail prices for proper guidance in their purchases. Joining us today is Trade and Industry Undersecretary Ms. Zenaida Maglaya. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us here. Okay, let's have a refresher course first about the SRPs, or the suggested retail price. How does the DTI come up with an SRP for a specific product?
First, Ron, an SRP or a suggested retail price is a guide price. All right? It's not a ceiling. It's not a price that nobody can go beyond, but it is a guide price for consumers so that consumers can compare prices, which is very, very important, especially now that it's Christmas time. There's so many brands in the market. You have to compare which one is fit for your budget. So that's what an SRP is for, first. Second, an SRP, since it's a suggested retail price, is supposed to be the reasonable price for a commodity. Meaning to say, an SRP that is done in consultation with manufacturers includes already the cost, production cost, already includes the margin of profit of a manufacturer and a retailer.
Okay, so you have those, can you call them factors to consider in coming up with a suggested retail price? But for different products, let's say for mga produkto, queso de bola. Lagi naman meron sa Noche Buena, di ba? This product uses a different ingredient than this one, or this product may have a different process than this one. So these two will have a different range for the SRPs?
Of course, of course. When we say cost of production, you talk of a major cost component. So for queso de bola, milk will be a major component there. Of course, for pasta, flour will really be a major component there. So depending on the product, you have different cost components. But of course, you talk of the raw material as the component. You have the margin of profit for the manufacturer. You have distribution charges up to the market when it reaches the retail outlet, and of course the margin of profit for a retailer. So that's what an SRP should contain, and that should be the guide price. So when you see an SRP, for example, of 165 pesos, you already include there the margin of profit of the manufacturer, the retailer, the distribution costs, and the production cost, whatever the major raw materials
are so many products. How does the DTI monitor the pricing of these products?
For Noche Buena products, we met with them in September.
Oh, it was early September.
Yeah, we met with them. They were all there. We had the ham group. We had the pasta group. We had the creams, the one that you use for salads. The mayonnaise, the cheese. They were all there. In one sitting, we asked them, how is supply? I think that's the first thing that you have to be sure of. Because if we have a supply problem, we know prices would immediately go up. So they said there's no supply problem. We shouldn't be worried about anything. So that's good. That was our first question. Second question was, how are our prices compared to last year's prices? Right, because that's very important. So they said we had some adjustments already, in fact, early this first semester. You know that flour, for example, the price of wheat went up almost 100% compared to last year's prices. So early this year, we really saw a big jump in the price of flour from 800 pesos to a high of 960.
Do you have a number on the percentage of how much the prices have gone up?
The price of for flour, which will affect pasta, of course, the increase went up by as much as 2 to 20%. So you would really see that the price, although the price of wheat went up 100%, the price of pasta went up to only a high of 20%. But when you say 20%, that would be about 17 pesos for a pack of 2.5 kilos. So that would be smaller if you talk of a pack of 420 or 1 kilo.
So madaming medyo magtitipid ng Noche Buena naman.
Yes. Well, siguro kung konti budget, sa 1 kilo ka na lang muna or sa 420, di ba? But this is a 2.5 kilo. So talagang pack. So that's really 17 pesos. Kasi mas mahal. So when you talk of a percentage increase, mas malaki ang increase dahil mas mahal yung base price. Pero again, Ron, kahit na these are not ceilings and these are SRPs, we all have to understand so that the public also gets to understand why the increases have to happen.
Gaano kalaki po ang pwede nilang itaas from the SRP na para hindi naman they don't violate anything, but you're saying this is not a ceiling. So they can go beyond the SRP, but by how much?
Well, like any commodity for basic necessities, for example, we use SRP as a guide. Whenever they go beyond it, we ask, why can't you sell at the SRP level?
You ask for justification.
We ask for an explanation.
Pero hindi yun naman automatically pipigilan.
No. Hindi naman yun na formal charge. Hindi naman. Una-muna.
Bakit tumaas tapos may kapit ka na formal charge?
Hindi naman. Tatanungin muna natin. Ngayon, pag hindi masagot, wala naman dahil, they cannot give a good reason, yun ang pwedeng may darating na posibleng may kaso. No?
And you have the means to check if their justification is correct.
Oh, yes. And there were instances when we do not agree to the explanation. We ask them to bring it down and not to really increase as much.
But so in the whole process, the manufacturers are involved in coming up with that SRP.
Oh, yes.
Hindi lang yung DTI ang nagdidikta na ito, kailangan lang ang presyo nyo dahil ito yung na-imbestiga namin na magiging presyo.
Lahat na manufacturers, Ron, may SRP yan. Not even the DTI agreed SRP. Because an SRP assures them of their market share in a way. Parang kanila, if for the retailers, this is our guide price. Going beyond that, we might lose market share. So they also want to make sure that retailers follow their SRP or the price list as they call it. So in a way, they should be able to make sure that all the costs are inputted into that. So among the supermarket groups and even with the manufacturers, they agree on this price list or SRP. What we have problems with are those who buy from supermarkets.
Okay.
Because sometimes when they buy from the supermarkets, they're already at the SRP level. They add a little for their margin, like sari-sari stores or even wet market stalls. Because they just buy from the groceries. They buy from supermarkets. Doon ang medyo may increase ng konti.
Ma'am, naumpisa na natin kanina yung nabanggit nyo na yung pasta at saka yung wheat. You have the SRPs for the other important products for Noche Buena?
Yes.
More in-demand products?
Of course, ham is number one.
Okay.
And for ham,
sige, magsusulat na ako ng presyo.
For ham, the increase is 2 to 10%.
Okay.
Ang increase. But you talk of the peso equivalent, that would be about 4 pesos to about 40 pesos increase. Again, the 4 pesos will be on the budget type hams because we have different kinds of hams. We have the budget type, we have the premium type.
Yes.
The premium type hams are the ones that increased a little higher by 6 to 10.
Pero magkano po ngayon yun? Yung basic ham?
Yung basic ham, the usual, no? The one that you really see, more or less they call the Noche Buena ham or the Fiesta ham. They have different ways of the hamon de bo. It's now priced 1 kilo would cost about 170.
170 pesos. Okay, talon tayo doon sa ibang...
That's the budget type, no? Pero yung mga premium, ang 1 kilo is about 460.
Okay, yung queso de bola naman, ma'am, isa pang hindi nawawala sa mesa yun.
Ang queso de bola, we have that. Here, wait. Queso de bola. Sa pasta siguro muna tayo.
Pero quickly, ma'am, you have a list here with you. Paano namin malalaman kung ano yung suggested retail price ng DTI?
Okay.
Kasi hindi naman namin, in some stores, they don't really post it. You don't have any information. But is there any way we can find out a list of the suggested retail prices?
The posters are running now in the press.
Okay.
So we will have posters. Yes, and they're going to be in all supermarkets and all stores selling Noche Buena products. So we will have the SRP in all those areas para may guide ang consumer. First, guide to know how much the prices are, how they can compare prices by brands, because we will be posting all the brands in the market. So at least they get to compare. You know, Ron, depending on your budget, as I said, there are differences in price. Like for example, for mayonnaise, there's mayonnaise that costs only 141 pesos, but there's one that costs 245. That's the same size, that's the same
May
pack.
pagkakaiba lang din
So
talaga.
if you have a smaller budget, go for the 141, not for the 245.
We will be looking for the prices in those supermarkets.
Yep.
DTI Undersecretary
Yes.
Zenaida Maglaya, thank you very much for joining us this morning, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Up next.